Hello everybody and welcome back to another episode of Shapez 2. It's a factory style game where we have to engineer the most efficient factory that we can to transform and deliver this wide variety of complex shapes to this mysterious vortex over here. Last episode we set up our final factory. That is going to help us complete the last of our tasks. And if you want to watch this whole series from the start, there will be a link to the series and all of the blueprints we developed along this journey in our description. This may very well be our last episode for the normal playthrough, so I really hope you guys have enjoyed this journey. We're going to try to finish all our tasks, clean up our factory, and then we're going to decide where to go from here. To all my faithful viewers and commenters who have watched this journey from episode 1, I thank you so much, and I hope you've enjoyed watching me struggle and fail, but ultimately learn as we create more and more complex shapes. So without further ado, let's get into it. Let's click some of these flashing stuff, grab our operator points. We are now operator level 110, bringing us to 2.1% worldwide, which sounds great. But ultimately, not sure if that means anything. Let's go and do this shape first. This is our little red and white checkerboard that we created. We could quadruple this up and make the 4 layers separately, but I don't think we will do that because we're in no rush. So let's just double this up again. I think I have 2 creators of this. We're using our brand new checkerboard V2 to make this, where we have one circular input, one shape input, one color input, and it spits out a checkerboard for us. We are coloring that input white to get the white and red checkerboard going, but we have 2 of those and we need 4 of them. So I think I just split off the output of one of them somewhere. This one's coming out this way, and then it's getting merged with this one, which is being split off again and re-merged. So I need to split off this line and re-merge it over here somewhere. Oh, that was a little bit of a confusing thought for the start of this episode, but my brain got there eventually. All right, we need to get that, and then we need to put down our stacker, and top and bottom does matter. So I need to rotate like that because that needs to come in on the bottom layer, and that should give us everything in the correct rotation, I believe, but we will find out very shortly. I believe I can just, because the shapes are already here, I should just be able to cut this and take a look if my preview updates itself, please. There we go. Took a second, but eventually it got there. Yes, I get there's nothing there. Can I have a shape to look at, please? There we go. And that looks very much like the shape that we're trying to create, isn't it? Excellent. Should have a little bit more faith in myself. We'll just undo that, put those belts back, and then we'll work on our next flashy shape, which is this one. This is one of our first crystal tasks, so let's go and check that out. Where are we at and what do we need to do to transform this into its final form? So our shape factory is currently creating this shape, and we need it to put in a green layer underneath. Well, we know how to do that, and we've even got our green piping here. So we're going to apply our new piping technique, which is to double up the pipes, because in the last episode we did some fluid mass and we figured out that you can actually pipe 4 sets of these fluid extractors, these Mark III fluid extractors. You can 4x that, and then you can pipe them all onto the same pipe. It has enough throughput to deliver 7,200 liters by 12. We've got the green now. We need to crystallize the green onto the bottom of whatever our output is. So to do that, we need to first raise this output to give the crystal liquid somewhere to go. So let's bring our pin pusher out, do that, and then let's bring our green liquid down just like that. And we will set up somewhere to do that crystallization process. So if I go to my blueprints, grab my crystal maker, our crystal maker takes 2 liquid inputs like that and 1 shape input and outputs crystallized shape. So if we just cut the belt like that, grab a new belt, put the shape in, we'll grab our liquid belt, split that off and put it in there. Remember, this one being a belt that carries 2 inputs, so you can carry it on one belt and then split it back out. And I think I tested the throughput, and unless I tested it incorrectly, I believe that works. So that should get that going, that's going, that's going, and that's going. Is that going? What is that thing? Pin task, half a nothing. I believe that was maybe this shape, and we need to probably cut that in half. Yes. So we made this shape for this task, but now we just need to cut it in half before we deliver it. We can definitely half destroy it. I think it's perfectly positioned to do that. So if we just grab our half destroyer, rotate it twice. That should give us that correct shape. We can probably verify it very easily. Nope, it's half destroying the wrong half. So we need to rotate it 180 degrees before we half destroy it. So we'll grab our half 180 degree rotator, then we will get our half destroyer, and that should now give us the correct half that we want to remove. Half destroying does remove the left half, so make sure you get your orientations correct, guys. It has, you know, hurt me many times and ruined my efficiency by destroying the wrong half of shapes. But that is fine. Let's give our factory a quick scan. What is going on? Let's check our old milestone factories. They are operating at 100% efficiency. We've got all our old milestone factories. I don't think there's any issues with them. Fixed this one a couple of episodes ago. Our WAF factories going at full speed. Everything is happy. Let's check some of our audit, some of our train lines. Look, they're all getting delivered at full speed. I believe it's all going good. We can check our operator level, the milestones. They're all getting delivered. Level 18, 19, 18, 21. This one, for some reason, is getting delivered especially fast because WAF is probably a super efficient engineer. That's probably the main reason for it. So all our milestones are good. So what should we do? I think this is milestone 10. I don't care about these new milestones. So what these milestones are basically they're the infinite ones. So you can continue to play the normal mode of the game or whatever difficulty you're on and just continue to make these shapes. They'll keep changing as you finish the delivery milestone. And it goes on forever. But we won't be doing those shapes. So therefore, I'm going to gut this factory and give my poor computer a little bit of a break because I feel like all these factories we're creating simultaneously is causing it to struggle a little bit. Additionally, I think I made a let's remove that marker. We've also created something to deal with something. I think these half circles was a milestone. This is just delivering half circles, right? We don't need to deliver half circles anymore. That was also part of this milestone, but we're not going to be progressing these two milestones, not in this playthrough anyway, because I have a special plan for these infinite milestones. We're going to focus on finishing our tasks. I believe that should be creating now. Let me just go quickly check on that. Always validate your assumptions, guys. Don't assume anything because then you'll be wrong and you'll look like an idiot. I believe that's the right shape. I don't see any issue with that shape, do I? It's looking very much like this shape. All right, I'm going to have a little bit of faith. All right, this is our last task, and that step is done. So let's see what we need to do to get from this step to this step. I believe the circle just becomes white. That is super easy. So let's go over to our last shape. I think I want to do something with the color mixing thing here because I did finally figure out the color mixing maths and maybe we should apply some of my learnings. Hey, what do you guys think? So at the moment we've got the green coming out, 2 rows of green coming out because we need it for the crystallizer, but we need some white going on. Now, this gets a little bit interesting, right? So at the moment, I've got a color mixer, but I'm not using the color mixer in the most efficient way possible. And since we have such a small green platform, maybe we should start using the color mixer in the most efficient way possible. Let me tell you guys what I mean by that. Let's just get 2 colors. Still learning stuff in this game, guys. Still learning. I'm at the end of the game. I'm 20 hours into the game or something like that. And I'm still learning stuff. I'm just trying to figure out where to do this. Blue's over here, so might bring green down. Alright, so at the moment, my color mixing array looks something like this. With our color mixer, we can see when the fluid goes in and we select one of these, it tells us the fluid contents. It doesn't tell us the total one, but if we wait a bit for the green to come in, it's going to take forever. I'll just keep explaining as I go and we'll probably fix this as we go. But basically, you can see the fluid contents goes up to 60 liters. If I had the mixing going on and stop the output, you'll see 2 fluid inputs going up to 60 liters and 1 fluid output going to 120 liters. So indeed, when I told people that they're lying to me, they're not lying to me. I'm just an idiot, as usual, which means one of these fluid outputters or 2 of these fluid outputters is in fact doing twice as much as I think it is. So it should be outputting 240 liters of content or 900 liters per minute. And remember, one of these launches is 1800. So one set of these 2 should be able to satisfy an entire side of a fluid belt, if that makes sense. So how do we use that to our advantage? It just means that when we get 2 fluids in, we can actually get 2 mixed fluids out, not a single belt as I've done here. I'm actually wasting half this throughput. Well, actually, I'm not wasting half this throughput. Really what this means is essentially this belt is actually got 2 fluid belts worth. Remember in our fluid dynamics lesson that I just learnt above, how I was taking 2 inputs and merging them onto that belt? That's essentially exactly what's happening here. This belt, and I haven't been able to denote it in any way, but this belt is in fact not a single belt of yellow, it's actually a double belt of yellow. And we can validate that theory by grabbing a shape and painting it, right? So if we just grab this shape over here, we need to learn these things, guys, because we're going to go into a harder playthrough. We're going to make a MAM at some point, and we want to do that as efficiently as possible. So it's always worth investing a little bit of time into learning the theory behind some of the designs that you do. So if we go over here and we belt over 2 shapes, and I don't care about this right now because, whoops, I don't care about the design of this because this is just for testing, so I'm just going to belt it any way, shape, or form over. Just like that. In theory, this yellow should be able to color not 1, but 2 sets of shapes, if I'm not mistaken. So let's take this yellow and pipe it into a thing. Shift F. Take 1, and then we want 2, right? Something like that. And in theory, this thing, oh, I should probably leave some room for the output, you silly. Let me probably put that there. Then let's pipe in some input. Let's pipe in 2 rows of output. Something like that and that. Sorry, ignore the spaghetti. Here we go. We've got 2 outputs, so let me get that out of the thing. Right. So in theory, if I bin this stuff, this should give me 2 full belts of yellow. Let me see if I'm correct in that assumption. You should always validate your assumptions, guys. So if I go to my blueprints and grab my bin, I can connect that bin on here, and that should output 2 full belts of yellow, right? Yellow painted shapes, even though I'm only using 1 color mixer, and that color mixer is splitting the output into 2 sections. Is that looking right? I don't know. For some reason, this just visually isn't looking right to me. Is that fully populated? What is going on? Is that making shapes? I think it needs some time to saturate, so let's just sit here and stare at it for a bit. If this works, it's going to be amazing, but it looks like it is working. Am I getting gaps anywhere, or is it just taking some time to saturate? I don't want to use this concept if it doesn't work, because this kind of looks gappy to me. So I don't know if that's just because it's not working properly. All right, let's have a look at this liquid mixer and let's see what it's doing. It is indeed pumping. It's mixing. It's definitely mixing. Okay, I think I know what's going on. We do need to redesign our mixer a little bit, because even though these pipes are carrying 3,600 liters of fluid, remember this thing outputs at 900, 900. So one of these is 1800 and that is 1800. Wait, what? Is that the output or the input? Max fluid production 1800. So that is producing 1800. Let me think about this. That's producing 1800. So that's just 1 belt technically. So these are both just outputting at half capacity right now, which is what it looks like. Okay, that's fair enough. So how do I get this? Let me think about this for a second, guys. I'm sorry. This is 900 liters per minute for 1 machine. So 2 machines outputs at 1800 liters per minute, which is basically what one of these pipes is carrying to 1 fluid launcher, but that's just 1 full belt. That's not 2 full belts. How did I figure out this was 2 full belts? Is it because one of these can supply 2? Because it does show that this is coming out double. So each one outputs 900. So it should output 2 outputs 1800, which is fine, which is just 1 belt. I don't get this. I don't know how to make this work. Do I need twice the amount of fluid mixes? But then that just is the same as building twice as much fluid. Yeah, I don't know, because we've got 1800 liters coming in. So how do we get 1800 liters, double the amount going out? I don't get it. 2 buildings per fluid launcher. Okay, I think I'm wrong in the design, and you can correct me in the comments. Look, I'm not going to keep tackling this. I think it's good to validate your assumptions, but sometimes you're just wrong. But I believe what's happening here is because the max output is 1800 liters per minute. I think maybe we just only need to halve our input or something like that. Like maybe one of these 1800 liter pipes could service all four, and actually just two of these come out with 1800 liters. But I think the maths is correct on this. And it's valid at the moment because that yellow pipe is definitely not outputting 2 yellow paints worth of stuff. So this should be, yeah, this pipe is 1800. So this is 4 by 1800. So yeah, it should be working correctly. It's just weird that you're supplying twice as much liquid as you need to. I would have expected this to output twice as much. So each one should be outputting 1800 liters because each one is taking in 1800 liters divided by 2, 900. Each one is taking in 900, right? Because this pipe is being split in half. So this one is taking in 900 liters of red, 900 liters of green, and then it should output 1800 liters, but it's not doing that at the moment. It's only outputting 900 liters per minute, and we verified that. So, okay, that's fine. You're wrong. Let's just gut this and let's continue with our lives. We'll have to do this the original way that I thought. But anyway, we needed some of this. We don't need that. We don't need that. It's good to validate your assumptions. Sometimes you're just wrong. It takes me a while to figure out. Sorry about that, guys. It's the last episode. What a good way to cap off the series. Alright, so we have our color mixer. We'll just do it the standard way. Maybe something will click in my brain at some point and I'll be able to explain how that works better. I believe someone mentioned that Nilaus has made a video about this, so maybe I will watch that at some point in my life. I do really love Nilaus's builds. He's a very clever architect or engineer. But I want to play this game blind, and I have been really resisting the urge to watch other people's builds. The only outside influence I get for my builds is you guys. Alright, cool. So I'm going to mix the yellow with the blue to get white, and the whole point of all that was to color this shape white. Let's bring that out. Let's color that white. Where is this shape being made though? Over here, delivered there. So we need to come down somewhere and bring that pipe over, hit tab, go here, hit tab again, come down, we'll follow this pipe somewhat, and then we'll go over here. Oh wait, no, I need to paint the circle part white, not all of it white, you silly. Let's bring that pipe down here. Where is my circles? That's my stars, that's my circles. So we'll bring the pipe all the way down and around over here, and we'll paint the circles white over here. But that's alright guys, we're waiting for the shapes to finish anyway, so a lot of what I'm doing right now doesn't really matter. We've already pretty much finished the game, we're just tying it up all in a neat little bow now, and to do that I should probably not make rubbish. Wait, what's happening? Shift, drag. That should be a fluid pipe, like that. And that should come out with white circles, and we can rejoin the white circles back to its friends, and we can work on some of these other shapes. This thing is done, so let's decommission this factory. Look at this factory, it's tacking off the back of the Milestone 6 factory, so I've got to be a bit careful with it. Just double check I'm decommissioning. Always double check you're decommissioning the right thing, guys. Don't ever make sure you're accidentally delete a part of a very vital factory. So we can get rid of that above Milestone 6. We can get rid of this extra train line. I know I said I wouldn't build into the milestone sections, and I should really adhere to that, but oh well. We can unpin that shape, then we can look at this next one. Oh, this one is done too. Excellent, we've got only 2 more left, guys. Look at that, end of an era, end of an era. Our tasks are almost getting done. Let's go to this shape, and we will also get rid of that. That is tacking onto the main line this way, so we can get rid of that. We can get rid of this side also, and free up some valuable CPU resources. That is getting done at breakneck pace. We need to put in blue on the other side. Oh, what am I doing? I deleted the factory that I need. What the hell? Lucky I can just undo that. Oh my god, what am I doing, guys? It's too early in the morning. I have not had my coffee, and I'm just thinking I might need another source of blue because this asteroid does not look big enough. But I can just copy this. What was this blue doing? Am I going crazy? Hold on one second. That is that factory. What was I decommissioning just then? Ugh. I was decommissioning the right factory. I'm going insane, guys. Just delete that. Holy moly. can delete this marker. We don't need that anymore. Last two factories. This thing we need to add blue onto. I have green going because I need green at some point. Let's just double this up quickly because we don't need just one green. We're going to need two greens when we need it. But blue for the meantime, we need two blues. So let's just get that doubled up as well. Something like that, right? We don't need two blues to crystallize. It's not doing anything. I pre-piped this over to get it sort of going a bit faster. So that's kind of paid off now. Bring that blue over, and we just need to, in theory, crystallize into here, into this shape, and that should fill in the missing blue gap, right? So if I bring out my crystallizer Mark III, and all of these blueprints are now going to be available in the description, guys. It's a Google Drive link. I'm not sure if that works. If it doesn't work, I'll fix that up. Just let me know in the comments. Someone go test if that works for me. Thank you. Maybe we should build that one tile out so we get some room for our pipes, and then we will pull in our shape like that. Then we will pull our output out and bring it to base. And I think that should give us the right output, shouldn't it? Shape goes in, crystallizes with blue, and then shape comes out. If we delete this pipe, maybe it'll give us a preview. Yep, that's looking awfully like that shape. Great. So that one's on its way. That one is needing to be fixed. I think I just did that one, right? I just did white, but let's validate whether white is actually working to ensure we are indeed creating the right shape. I don't believe we are, because what the hell is that? That is not a liquid extractor. It's always good to screw up everything on your last two shapes. I'm getting a little bit excited about finishing this task. I wonder if the game's going to give some cool little Easter egg at the very end. If we hit escape, it does tell me I am at, you know, whatever playtime, 22 hours into the game. Holy crap. I mean, I think this is episode 20 of the stream, or 21. I think we spent hours just running around searching for shapes. That's crazy. Research time. Research is at 95%. I don't know what that means. Is that because my task is at 95%? Because I certainly don't have any more research to be done. But I really want this number to say 100% before we cap off the episode, and I'm hoping that will happen when these two pin tasks are done. So what should we do in the meantime while these pin tasks are running? I'm not going to just sit here and wait for it, obviously. What we were doing last episode was starting to discover a little bit about wires. Now, this is what we were up to, this little belt filter. It lets you filter different shapes, right? So for example, if I filter this signal, this is a signal I made for a square, right? Configure a square signal. Yep, RU. So I'm going to copy that signal. I just want to test some stuff because I've been like having dreams about my MAM production. I know that's a bit weird, but how do I get a shape code for just a circle real quick? If I get a minor, and then inside the minor, I want to build another shape minor or shape extractor. Does that tell me the code? Yep, that tells me the code. All right, CU. Sure, that makes sense, doesn't it? Let's go to our factory, and I just want to make another thing for circle. CU. I had the example there. All right, so I have a signal producer that's square and circle. Let's see what happens, because last episode we figured out we can turn this by making it a 0 or a 1, right? So I think what this is saying is that based on the signal that's coming in here, I will let a shape through the tick, and I will destroy a certain shape based on the cross. So what if we output circles, right? If we give the signal of circles, I think it's telling the belt filter that I want circles. Then the belt filter is going, no, these ain't circles, go to the cross, right? As opposed to if we took squares and we gave it a signal of I want squares, then it's going, is the shape a square? Yes, go this way through the green tick. Excellent. That makes a lot of sense. We figured out how the belt filter works now. Next, we need to figure out some more wire stuff, because this is going to be the foundation of our MAM. This is going to be what makes everything work. So we did belt control last button. What does a button do? Is a button something I can press? Toggle. I can turn things on and off. That'll come in handy for like testing purposes and stuff. That seems like a bit of a manual thing. Obviously, at the very end, our MAM will be automatic. So that will definitely probably not being used. Here's all our logic gates. Here we go. These are all AND gates, NOT gates, OR gates, and equal gates. So I guess, am I going to give you guys a programming lesson or lose all my viewership? I don't know. Let's see how these gates work. Let's make some signals. So let's just configure one signal to be a 0. 0 means off. This is like binary, right? 1 means on, I assume. So if I get some, not signal bridges, how do I just get wire? Wire is 2. So if I pipe out some wire, you can see 1 is on, the wire is glowing, 2 is off. Let's see how these logic gates work. So 2 wires go input and 1 wire comes out. Let me just move that down a bit so it's easier to visualize a little bit, because this is going to get super confusing, guys. I hope you guys stick around for this, because this is a lesson in, you know, programming. I built this symbol here. It doesn't tell you, but this is the AND gate. What an AND gate does is it goes, both signals have to be on for me to produce an on signal. If only one of them is on, then I'm not going to say yes. Let me think about a better way of wording that. So basically it takes 2 signals in. They both have to be a 1 for it to produce a 1. If either of them is a 0, then it will produce a 0. So for example, if I turn this into a 1, then you can see my AND gate now gives a positive or on signal, right? So both, it means and this have to be on for me to be on. Great. Next, we have an OR gate. And an OR gate functions very similarly, but kind of opposite to an AND gate. So if I change that to an OR gate, and that's the OR symbol, it means either one of these have to be a 1 for me to be a 1. That means I can be a 0, you can be a 1, and I am still on, right? Maybe I should put these next to each other so you guys can visualize. So on, or, and this is going to be the foundation of us building our MAM, guys. So I'm not going to explain this ever again in our MAM videos. I'm just going to assume you guys know how logic gates work. But basically here is the AND gate. So both these signals have to be a 1 for this to be on, right? And this one, an OR gate, has to be 0. Maybe I should use some labels here. So this is the AND. This is an OR. Man, I'm just looking at this, and this is a great way, I swear, this is a great way to teach people logic gates, because it's so visual, right? So you can see how that works. Can we use a button to like toggle this? Configure, toggle. Oh, maybe I should just use the button to do this instead. So if I toggle this, see that's on. So either one of these can be on, and you can see it turns on the signal, right? And both of them can also be on for it to turn on the signal. But the AND gate, if I turn on 1, that's an OR gate. So the AND gate, you can see if I only turn on 1, that's off. I have to turn on both for it to be on. Look at that. Beautiful. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. I absolutely love this game. I can't believe they implemented logic gates, because with a logic gate, you could build a full computer here. You could theoretically, using these logic gates, build an adder, a multiplier, eventually build a CPU, a GPU, and then you could build a full-blown computer using this if the processing power of this game allows you before it crashes. And you know, you could write Shapez 2 within Shapez 2 if someone really wanted to. I'm sure somebody will do that one day. What's a NOT gate? So if we have a signal and a wire, and we have a NOT gate and another wire, this is NOT. So a NOT gate reverses the signal. So if you give it an off signal, it'll turn it into an on signal, and vice versa. See how it reverses that signal? Great. What's the next gate? The next gate is a exclusive OR gate. It's called a XOR gate. So that one always confuses me, but if I copy this and give it 2 signals, we can figure out what exclusive OR does and why is it different from a regular OR. Maybe I'll put that next to the OR gate. So the OR gate is slightly, it functions very similarly to an OR gate. There's a whole table you can download about how these logic gates work. I'm not going to bore you guys with that. We're just going to learn by doing. An exclusive OR gate. So you can see if one signal is on and one signal is off, it's on. If either one is on, it's on, because that's how exclusive OR works. In an OR gate, if both are on, it's on. And I believe in an exclusive OR, it's the opposite. So exclusive OR means only one of these 2 signals can be on. Otherwise, if both of them are on, then I'm going to be off. Very similar to an OR gate, but opposite. Finally, we have an equal, a comparison thing. So so it takes 2 things and then it compares. This is going to be vital to our MAM. So it will take a signal. Maybe I should just copy one of these. If we copy that, compute that clone equal, then this equal thing is obviously going to do, without even too much thinking about it, is going to check whether this signal and this signal are the same signal. If it is, it's going to give a a 1, otherwise it's going to give us 0, right? So if I have 2 different signals coming in, it's going to go, nope, these aren't the same signals, please fix your stuff, right? So like, let's take it, I'm sure it can compare shapes. So we can probably put in a shape and then another shape, and it goes, is this shape the same as this shape? Yes. But if I took away that and put a square there instead, it's going to go, oh, that's not a square. That's a square. If I took this square over here, it's going to go, is the circle a square? No. That's going to be very important to our various things. Now, the final thing is a gate. What is a gate? This is a transistor. So let's figure out how a transistor works. Let's give it a signal and give it another signal. I believe those two are inputs, right? This is basically a transistor. This is exactly how a transistor works, right? I believe. I'm not an electrical engineer, so I'm not super good at this. So this thing pumps a signal through, but if we turn off this side input, then it turns it off. So this thing toggles the full input. So let's see what happens if we do different variations of this. If there's no signal here, no matter what happens here, it doesn't matter. There's no signal. But if there is a signal here, this top bit now toggles that signal. That will come in handy for various reasons. This thing is a transistor. It's the basis of how computers work. If you guys have know anything about computers, you know that a CPU is made out of billions and billions and billions of transistors. This is all a transistor is. It is a signal that goes through a thing with a side thing that can toggle it. How that turns into a working computer, only extremely clever engineers know that. It is far beyond my pay grade, but somehow a billion of these turns into a game that can run shapes, that can make computers, that can make more shapes. Shapeception. Alright, back to our tasks. We've been waffling on about logic gates for a really long time, and I'm not sure you guys are super into logic gates, but what you guys are into is watching me play shapes. So let me go over here. What is happening? How did that turn into, sorry, I'm a bit confused. How did that turn into that? That is just a pinned circle on top now. So if we go over here and have a look, where is this being made? So that's our crystallized shape. We just need to put a pinned circle on top. So if we pin up a circle, so this started off with a circle, and then we somehow completely removed the circle, and now we're going to put another circle back on. We still need the circle part of the process because you can't just crystallize nothing, but this is a very clever way to create a layer of pure crystal. Oh, a layer of pure crystal, that sounds innocuously dangerous. Get your minds out of the gutter, guys. Alright, so this is a pinned up crystal. We need that on top, this layer on the bottom. So let's just grab our stacking array. So that's the top is the top, the bottom is the bottom, so that needs to rotate. So that goes on top and that goes on the bottom, and that should give us that, and that is not being made. So let's go back over here. While I was talking the entire time, this thing was not being made. Why? White is coming in, troubleshooting time, guys. This thing is being made, and then how come only half the belt is working and the other half of the belt is not? Weird, 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 weird. This thing is making full belts of stuff, yes, but only half a belt. This belt is not working. This thing's only making half a belt. This thing's only making half a belt. This thing's only making half a belt. This thing is not working. Why did what the heck is going on here? I've lost a layer of this. I must have accidentally deleted it, you silly person. But that should fix that. Is that even giving me the correct final shape? Oh, it is working. It's just working very slowly because I've completely de-optimized the process by accidentally deleting the back half of this section. Don't worry, guys. It's 22 hours into the game. I'm still making mistakes. I am by no means a professional at this game, or any game for that matter. Back to our logic gates. So I think we've discovered everything. Now, what are simulated buildings? What the hell are these? Simulated rotator. So this, what? Simulated buildings. Tab to switch variants. So these are our simulated half destroyer and crystallizer, shape analyzer. Ah, here we go. That's the shape analyzer. How can I get the shape analyzer to tell me what the current shape is? This thing has one input and 2 outputs. So if we get it to analyze a shape, for example, this shape, what will it tell me? If I copy this like super complicated shape code into here, what is that going to tell me? Outputs the shape type and color to the northeast and first layer quarter. What? Outputs the shape type and the color of the northeast first layer quarter. Yes, I get that. Let's just do it. Signal thing. Where's my signal thing? This signal thing. Signal producer. We'll get it in there, and we'll get it to, let's put a really complex shape signal in, like this shape, and then we'll get the shape analyzer to output something. How do we do this? Sorry, I'm still learning my ways with you guys. I love to learn stuff with you guys together, you know. I don't want to just do this all off camera and then somehow come back a expert on MAMs, and then you guys are like, what? Okay, cool. So it tells me the first layer. So one signal tells me the top quarter of this shape, and the other signal tells me, I assume this means no color, because if we were to like configure that, is that the top layer? RUC. So CR. Let me just try to edit that shape. If I make that R as well, does that give me a different shape? No, I need a shape with like all colors in the top right quarter. Maybe this shape. I don't know off the top of my head how to edit the shape codes to get what I want yet. I'm definitely not familiar with what the heck is going on, but yeah, there you go. Look at that. If my top right corner is a yellow square, then it looks at the bottom layer only. So if we look at this shape, oh damn, I can't edit the code. But if you look at this shape, basically the top right corner is a yellow square. You feed in that signal of that shape and it tells you that it's yellow and a square. We're gonna need that for the MAM, definitely. What are simulated buildings and what do they do? Simulated half swapper. So that means if I give this shape, like, I think this is like, if you were to input a square, like it's a swapper, right? But it's not a real swapper. It's a virtual swapper. I believe that's how it works. I can't tell you off the top of my head how I plan to use this, but I think it gives you two signals, and if you chuck some displays on the signal, it tells you what shape it will. It's good for planning and stuff. You're like, all right. So if I put in two shapes into a swapper, these are the two shapes that I'll get out. Yeah, okay, cool. So these are just the simulated versions of every single building. That might come in handy, I'm not sure. We can maybe do some stuff with that for the MAM, but the main question is, how do I start the MAM? Because I want, like, I maybe have to reference my shapes, like a shapes 1 guide, but in shapes 1, there was a device or a building that tells you the current shape. So in our milestone, operator milestones, see this shape is ever changing. There should be a building or something that tells you, but I don't know how to do that. And the reason why you need the simulated stuff, let me just clear a platform, right? I'll tell you why, how a MAM works. A little bit of a spoiler. I'm already starting to analyze the MAM, but I'm going to do a full series on me designing the MAM from scratch. But since this is the end of our main Let's Play series, you guys that have watched to the end get a treat of preview of my brain working on how I'm going to use all of these crazy gates to figure out the MAM, right? So as you can see, when we give it a shape, right, this is our main input. Assume we've figured out how to input the current shape, configure. I'm assuming I can put in something, fluid color, a number, 5, null, conflict, or an item code. I'm assuming this signal producer can somehow be linked to a variable signal of based on the current shape. So say we want to produce this shape, and we have a signal producer of that shape, right? We're going to need to tell it, we're going to need to figure out how to break this shape into various layers. So for example, I don't know how to destack things yet, but either way, it doesn't matter. We'll start with the bottom layer first. We'll figure everything out along the way. So essentially we're going to need to put it through this shape analyzer, right? And then it's going to spit out and tell us something like this. It's going to say, oh, whoop, give ourselves a bit of room to work. It's essentially going to say, all right, so the top of your shape is a yellow square. Then how do I look at my next part of my shape, right? So that's when we're going to have to use our simulated buildings. So let me just move the signal back a bit, and we can probably use this as a starting point for our MAM. We're going to go, all right, so what about the next bit of our shape? How do I look at that? Because this thing only looks at the top right quarter, right? Well, we're going to need to rotate that shape, but that's not a shape, that's a signal. So we're going to need to use our simulated rotator and rotate that. Is that only ever clockwise? Tab. Okay, there's no like other rotation. So this is a clockwise rotator 90 degrees. So we've rotated this shape 90 degrees and it's come out and gone, well, 90 degrees of that shape. Maybe we should put the signal in and then put a display in here so we can very clearly see it. So you can see now that simulated rotator has rotated this thing 90 degrees. And now that it has rotated this thing 90 degrees, it's gone, what is the top right shape here? It's nothing, it's blank. Then we can copy this again, rotate it another 90 degrees. Let me just bring that out a little bit. I'm gonna have to learn new shortcuts. Shift 3-2 is my Y's. So we can bring that over. Obviously we want to probably rotate it again. Now it's at 180 degrees to this shape. So we started with that, now with that. Maybe I'll just put a signal producer here to make it a little bit bigger too. Oh no, I can't do a display. I could wire off and display. That's fine. You guys get my point. So this thing's now rotating at 180 degrees, and then it's going, all right, so what is this shape? Oh, these wires don't work. Never mind. To get the wires to work, you can just obviously go like that. Up, and put a display there. These displays are going to be super handy. So you can see how we're simulated rotating that shape. And now it's telling me, so basically, essentially, the top right is that. This is bottom clockwise 90. So this is top left. This is the bottom left. And then if we do it one last time, we've got our full shape, right? So if we go another rotation over here, that rotates it again. And now this thing is telling us our 4 quadrants of the shape. So we know the top right shape is a yellow square, then it's a something, and then it's a something, and then it's a something, right? So that's basically essentially the analyzing portion of a shape. Whenever we analyze a shape for a MAM, we're always going to be dividing it into its 4 quadrants and then figuring out what each part is. Now, how do I delayer these shapes? I have no idea. We'll figure it out together, guys. It's going to be such an exciting journey. I don't know if you can tell in my voice, but I'm super keen for this. I've been struggling so hard not to like Google any Shapez 2 MAM videos because I am so keen to figure this out on my own. All right, let's go on the tasks and let's have a look at where to go from this shape to this shape. It's just the entire shape pinned up. That's fine. That's just this. Adding a pin on there. Easy peasy. Great. So I want to figure out, I don't know, and this, look, we don't need to do all the analysis here. This is just bonus content, guys. We're just waiting for these 2 things to finish. Speaking of which, why is this not working? Because I've been waiting for quite a while. Why is this a half circle? You silly muppet. Why did you cut that circle? Probably going to take us a whole hour to finish off this series, guys, but don't you worry. I will finish these tasks by the end of this series. How far am I? I'm not that far. There's only like 20k shapes to go, and while we do that, I will entertain you with my waffling on about logic gates and how we're going to design our MAM. Our MAM series is probably going to be a completely separate series to this. I will probably cap off at the end of this episode when I reach 100% and call it quits for the normal mode, and then we will probably do a hard mode series at some point. We will do a series on optimizing and collapsing our designs into 1x1s, because obviously if you look at my things like my stacking platform, this is not the most compact version of the design, and we can definitely get this into a 2x1 platform with all the learnings we've gotten throughout our journey and all the comments you helpful people have been giving me. And yeah, we can definitely collapse all our designs into the most optimal designs possible, and then we'll take that arsenal of blueprints into the new playthrough. We will take that into hard mode and extreme mode and do that. But what I'd really like to take into hard mode and extreme mode is a fully functioning MAM. That would be lovely, wouldn't it? So anyway, this is going to be sort of our shape analysis portion. What I'd love to be able to figure out is how to get that to give me the current shape that's in my thing. Signal producer. Is there anything in any of these that will do it? Toggle, belt filter, belt reader, signal producer. I am almost 100% sure it's in the signal producer, and there is some code that I can put in to tell it to give me the current shape. There's got to be predefined logic, fluid, color R, conflict. What does conflict give? Error. Null is not that. Enter a signal, a number, 5, 10. 10 just produces a signal of 10. If I display this signal, that just gives me a number. Okay, that's useless. Color, fluid, or an item code. Current shape. Nope, that's just null. There's got to be a thing. Let's check the docos. Number, conflict, empty, truthfulness. 0 is classified on, off, controlling conveyor belts. Gotcha. Random operator shapes. Once you complete the last milestone, level introduce randomized shape. You can, of course, build a new factory every goal. We suggest you make it's in the documentation, guys. This is a thing. See below that reads in the shape automatically. You can receive the current random shape by placing a global wire receiver and setting the channel to operator shape. What? Is there some stuff in the overworld that is a global wire receiver? Global wire receiver. Where is that? I remember I unlocked something to do with global wire receiver. Documentation, guys. Documentation is always the way to go whenever you're confused. Simulated buildings. I get simulated buildings. Join our Discord. I don't want to join your Discord. Global wire receiver. I remember in my tasks I unlocked this. Didn't I? Upgrades, I mean. If you show completed, one of these wire things was a global wire transmission. Global wire transmission. Unlock global wire transmitters, allowing you to send signals over different channels and reading the operator shapes. It's a building, it looks like. So maybe it's not in this section. Maybe it's in like here. Is it in my shapes processing? No. This is my space stuff. These are just platforms. It's not in trains, obviously. Decoration. Am I blind? I swear I'm going to go through each one of these and then people are going to be like, it's right there. Ah, it's in wire, obviously. We got wire transmitter, wire receiver, global wire transmitter, global wire receiver. We went through every single one of these variants to figure out what's there, and we didn't do the most basic bloody one, the wire. So we got a wire, we got a wire bridge, remember, that lets you cross wires. I think we did this in the last episode, and then I just kind of stopped halfway through. Wire transmitter, what is that? Ah, it's a thrower for wires. Cool. Wire receiver, got it. Global wire transmitter, here we go. How the hell does this thing work? Global wire receiver, transmitter, global wire receiver. What does this output? Let's just get a basic wire. That was input. Was that input or output? Global, let's just do one at a time. I'm confusing myself, guys. I'm confusing myself. Let's just grab a global wire transmitter. So a transmitter takes in an input. So if I give it a signal like that, it does something. It transmits this. Transmits it to what? A global wire receiver, right? Like that. Then this thing should receive an input. So this, well, I guess this allows you to skip platforms. Channel, these are different channels. So it transmits on different channels. Okay, I get it. So you can select the channel and then it can receive a signal globally. So this is now receiving channel 0. But if I get it to channel 1, obviously I'm not transmitting anything on channel 1, so it's not going to receive anything, but it can receive random operator shape 0, guys. Look at that. That is the basis of our analysis. We're going to take this and we're going to go, all right, this signal is giving us our random operator shape, and we want to make this random operator shape. Then we need to pass this. We need like basically 4 of these. So we need, oh God, I'm already starting to make my MAM, guys. I'm making the MAM this episode. I don't care what you guys say. It's alright. The MAM series is going to be separate to this, so I don't think anyone's going to care that I spoiled this in like episode 21 of my Let's Play, right? And it gives us something to do while we're waiting for this. We're not just going to stick around waiting for this. I will double check this is working though. Don't assume anything. It's been a while since this has been produced. I don't think this is working. I think I've goofed this up, guys. Yeah, this is meant to be a pinned up version of that shape, you silly muppet. This needs not a rotation but a pin-up. Shift 7. Yeah, there we go. I mean, we want to complete these last 2 shapes sometime in the next hour, within this 1 hour episode. I might cut out some stuff. I don't know if it goes too long. I don't know if you guys want to see me making a MAM in this episode, but anyway, instead of this, we need 4 of these, right? So I want to, well, I don't want to output this. I just want this part. So I want 4 of these. Like, let's just do it here. 1, 2, 3, 4, right? And then I need to analyze each quadrant of these shapes, both their color and their shape. So I need to bring the thing over here. Shift 3-2 is my wire, and that gives that, right? But maybe we should put the shape displaying portion somewhere else, like here. That way we can do some processing here. Great. So see how this is showing the base shape of the MEM, and this analyzer is saying the top right quadrant is now a quarter circle and no color. So that's the basis, but we need to know what are the other quadrants, right? So you need to copy this over, and we need to simulate some operations on this using our simulated buildings to rotate stuff. So we need to rotate it once here, and that gives us the rotated shape clockwise. So now it's telling us that the top left is a square, and then we need to rotate it twice, and then it's going the bottom left is a nothing, right? Then we rotate it 3 times, and it's telling us our last quadrant. So this is our 4 quadrants, right? You can even label this to not confuse yourself. So you can go something like configure top left, and this is our top, no, this is our top right. This is our quadrant 1. I can't even put numbers here. So this is going to be our top left. This is going to be our bottom left. And this is going to be our bottom right. So now we've got all 4 of these shapes. We can create a system where we have a bunch of input shapes, and then using signals, we can tell it, all right, based on these input channels, or based on this shape that I know is the one I want to create, make me that quarter circle, and then eventually we'll just stack all of that on top of each other. It's going to be crazy, guys, and there's going to be so much troubleshooting involved, and I absolutely love it, and it's going to be so much fun. We're going to build a MEM up from scratch, guys. We'll figure it out. We're going to have so much trials and tribulations along the way. You guys are going to watch me laugh, cry, struggle, all that good stuff. But what we won't do is cheat in any way, shape or form by watching other people's MEM videos, because that would take all the fun out of it. We want to build this all on our own. This is going to be DataEngineerPlays MEM. All right, what am I doing? Tasks. This is the last part of the last task, guys. I finished the last task before this task. But what am I doing? This was the pinned up shape, and then I just need to crystallize the bottom layer blue. That seems simple enough. I have a blue here, I have another blue here. This blue asteroid isn't looking like it's got enough space on for 3 shapes, does it? Oh, just enough. Alright, let's get that fluid going, and remember, we can peel off the fluid. I don't know how well it handles 3, so I'm not gonna mess with that. Let's just get this done as quickly as possible before the end of the series. But I need to crystallize the blue. So here where it's creating the shape with the space, I need a double blue to come over here and crystallize it. So I'm going to get that one. I'm going to get that one. I'm going to go over here, and then I'm going to, what am I doing? Sorry, just trying to figure out where to do this. So we're going to hop over. We're going to have to hop over again. Sorry, my brain is still in MEM mode at the moment, so I'm not doing too well figuring out these basic shapes at the moment. So let's get my crystallizer, B crystallizer, and then we will put the liquid in the right side, which is this side. Then we will split off our double blue back into 2 single blues, and then we will put our shape into here, and then we will put our shape out of here. Great. So that should give us our final shape for our final task. This thing should be well on its way now, and we can we're just waiting. We're waiting. Wait. What is going on, man? Like, holy moly. This shape is just not wanting to complete itself, or maybe subconsciously I'm not wanting this game to end, so I'm just purposely, like, my brain's just throwing, you know, obstacles in the way of me completing this. No, that's just an excuse. I'm just dumb. That's fine. We'll sit here and make sure that's outputting the right shape now. So the bottom layer is definitely correct. We just need to put this onto the top layer, right? Let me just cut this and just get me a preview, please, and we'll make sure that's correct. That is looking awfully correct now. Alright, great. So that will slowly complete. That will slowly complete. But yeah, we've got the basis of our MEM over here. The next thing I wanted to figure out is, how do I de-stack a complex shape? Because if we go back to our milestone, there's a lot of discovery to be done here, right? So if I have this like super complex shape, and I copy the code into a signal producer, like such. Display signals, no, signal producer. So say I got this complex shape that I want to make. I'll put a display out so you guys can see what I'm doing. So I've got this complex ass shape. It's on 3 layers, But obviously this thing only tells me the top right of the bottom layer. Is that what I'm hearing? Yep, it only tells me that the bottom layer is a square. How do I get the other two layers? I need to destack this. Is there a destacking simulated building? Half destroyer, stacker, unstacker. Oh man, they've thought of everything. They've thought of everything, guys. Unstacker. This is not even a real building. You can't unstack a shape. Maybe one day they'll do some stuff with an unstacker. So if we simulate a shape in, what do we get out when we unstack the shape? So we need to have a look at that. Have a look at that. The unstacker takes the top of the shape. So we can unstack the shape. That gives me the top layer. And then we unstack again. And then that should give me, oh man, just copy this, right? Wait, is this not a signal? All right, this is a display. Let me build this better. So we got this unstacker. This top shape gives us the final shape. This wire needs to continue to transmit through. So we need like a wire like that, something like that. And then I do need to display the other shape. So I will get my display and wire it in like that. So it gives me the two layers of the shape. Now this is unstacked. See, the top layer is gone. Then I just need to unstack again, right? So I just need a copy of this. This is just iterative design. This is called nesting. And then that unstacks again, and then there's 4 layers, right? So is that the bottom layer of the shape? Yeah, it is. Right? All right, so that's one question. So that's how you unstack the shape to get the various layers. So what we have here just analyzes a single layer of a shape. But obviously, before we analyze the single layer of the shape, we need to put it through this unstacking array to make sure we're analyzing the correct layer that we want. We'll figure out how to weave all these concepts in together, but I'm just going to save what I'm doing over here. We're going to call this unstack. I already know what the teaser of this video is going to be. I'm going to do this platform, like something like that. And then it's going to be like, where do we go from here, guys? And then it's like hinting at we're building a man. Yeah, I think that's gonna be so cool. It's gonna be so much fun, guys. You're gonna watch me build this man. You're gonna be like, you're an idiot, no, do this, you should wire it this way, your shape's wrong, blah blah blah. It's gonna be awesome. It's gonna be awesome. The other thing I wanted to see, and this is perfect for it, is what does it tell me when the part is a crystal? Give me the shape analyzer. What are you gonna tell me? Tell me that one part is a crystal. Blue. Okay, it gives me the color. And then the shape is a crystal. Okay, so it knows it's a blue crystal here. Which means when I design my shape, this needs to be, oh man, this is gonna be, we're gonna need a process. We're gonna need a process diagram of how to create every single shape. Because obviously I can't create a blue crystal quarter and then stack it with the shape. How do you create a blue crystal empty quarter? We know how to create a blue crystal empty quarter because this thing has taught us, hasn't it? We can start with any shape, fill it with a quarter of a blue crystal, and then just cut it out. Yeah, no, we can make a blue crystal quarter. What am I talking about? Easy. Crystals are easy. It's just another layer of logic on top of our basic colored shapes. It should work exactly the same way. What is a little bit harder is pins. How do I deal with a pin? Let's get our milestone 7 shape out. What does it tell me when there is an actual pin in the shape, not an empty space? Somehow it will know. Man, this is going to be super crazy. So it knows when it unstacks that top layer, what's left in the second layer is a bunch of pins. So if it knows this layer is just pins, then it knows the top left is a pin. So when I know the top left is a pin, how do I get just a pin in the top left? What? Can you get just a pin? I don't think that's possible, is it? Let me think about that for a second. Can the game output just a pin while I'm doing that? Let's just check this factory is indeed working the shape that I want. That, and that is what I want. I mean, that's just a rotated thing, right? That should be exactly the same, I think. I mean, it's rotated. This inside color's not anything wacky. No, I think this will do. This is done, guys. We're on the last shape. We're almost on the last shape. Let's get the green crystallizer working for this last shape and get it caught up a little bit. We got the green crystallizer. We got 2 inputs. We just need 2 outputs into a crystallizer. We need to route this into the right area. So let's bring the liquid over. This is going to be some of our last modifications to the factory, guys. Oh, I really hope you guys have enjoyed watching me struggle and rack my brain for solutions to some of these shapes. I hope you guys have been playing along as well. This game, you guys have been enjoying this game? Have you guys been playing along? It's been such a fun journey, hasn't it? Let's see output. That'll fit the green in there. Yep, that's going. Excellent. We'll just let that keep running. Oh, it's taken us an hour to do our last two shapes, but because I've been distracted by my mam. But we did get there at the end, guys. A full hour. It was meant to be. It was meant to be. That is the length of content that I wanted to create. Excellent. Look at that. We got the unstack going. Can you get just a singular pin? Can you guys think of a way to get just a singular pin onto something? There's no unstack functionality. I mean, you can just pin something up, but you can't just end up with a singular pin. There's no way. Because you can't get rid of whatever's above the pin, right? Without taking it onto the final layer. But then when you're on the final layer, you're going to have 3 pins. Oh man, that's going to be complex. I can already see the pin shape. I think they've purposely, what they've done is they've given 2 operator shapes, and this is meant to help you make your like basic mam. I don't know to be sure. Instead of previous milestone shapes, the goal required is different. Randomized shapes every level. You can build it manually or try to build a factory that automatically using a mam. That gives it the same thing. Maybe this gives simple shapes and this one is the one that gives really complex shapes with pins and crystals. Crystals is actually not a problem in any way, shape or form because you can create crystals by themselves. So that's fine. The pins, the problem with the pins is you can't create this. You can't create a quarter pin by itself, right? You can make only pins as the game did explain to us. So if you were to extract a shape, let me find a big asteroid. Shift 7, 1. If you were to just extract a regular shape, right? And then go onto any platform, you can make regular pins. So if I grab a thing out like that, and then I make a pinner, you can push pin this like 17 times, and I think like 4 times, I believe. And then all you get is a layer of pins, see? But you can't cut this vertically to only give me, like, I can now quarter this with a quarter destroyer, right? Cutting, quarter, destroy, half destroy that. Then we can rotate that 90 degrees and then half destroy it again, right? And then I can get a quarter pin, but it's fully stacked into the ceiling, and I can't just get the part of the pin that I want, right? There ain't no way. Yeah, there ain't no way, guys. There ain't no way. Alright, that's fine. These are just problems that we have to solve as engineers. You know, we're solution architects. I've called myself so many different things. I'm a data engineer, I'm an analytical engineer, I'm a data analyst, I'm a software developer, I'm a freaking solution designer, whatever. But yeah, they all share very common traits amongst the different professions. So, you know, when you're one thing, you're everything. Sometimes a data engineer is everything, where we gather requirements, we build stuff, we code, we do everything. We're solution architects, whatnot. What do we need for the last part of this shape though? We do need this thing to be green. So we just need to wire this into here and then wire this out of there and then cut this cable, and that should give us our final green shape. Let's validate that by cutting this thing and letting it have a little bit of time to think about the preview. Am I doing this wrong? Is that the input output wrong? What am I doing? That's not an input. That's an input. Input that. There you go. It won't be able to give us a preview unless I give it the right inputs. And that is looking awfully like that shape. There's no rotation crap to deal with, right? Nope. Good. That is our second last shape being delivered, and our last shape is almost done. Guys, we're there. We're pretty much there. Is that giving us more completion percent? 98%. I think that went up. Let's have a look at all our factories. Is everything clean? What is this Ninja Star factory? What are you? Why do you exist? Oh no, this is my factory. Now when I'm using map markers, I actually have no idea where anything is. What is this thing? Ew, red flies or something? I don't know. What else is there? This is milestone, milestone, milestone. No, Just these two factories, milestone, and a little bit of work. Yeah, that's it, guys. That's our factory. Everything is beautiful and clean. Pumping in milestones. This is almost complete. This is going to be complete very soon. Our MAM is looking really good. Would it be unsatisfying? Because I don't think there's too much I want to do. I mean, I guess we can start figuring out bits of our MAM. Do we want to delve too far into it? I think I've explored everything. Please let me know in this video if I've missed anything obvious with my basics of a MAM. Let's clean some of this discovery stuff up, because I want this to be cleaned. I want this as like my reference. I want this as my reference page. This is my what do we call it? This is my operating document now. Let's center this and make it look nice. I won't delete this. Yeah, this is pretty centered. Yeah, this is the basis of my MAM, guys. We're gonna use this, and we're gonna like how you might be asking, how does that make a shape? You might be asking yourself. Well, you're gonna have to watch my MAM series to find out. All right. How is this going to make a shape? Well, look, we can use this to somehow color and do stuff. I don't know if I can figure all that out in the next 10 minutes of this series while these two shapes get created, but we can try. Essentially, we're going to need like various colors, right? So if we get, man, what am I doing? I need a fluid extractor. So let's just extract these two colors, right? Then I need a shape that's like just normal. I think that'll be fine for our demonstration. Basically, we're gonna have stuff that's doing stuff like this. We're gonna have to create new platforms, I think, and then say we got a shape coming in. Fluid extractor, painter. No. All right. Say we got a shape coming in and some colors. We're gonna have like basically one RGB coming in somewhere, and then something's gonna have to choose whether we take R, G, or B, right? So they're all gonna. I think what's gonna happen. Let's just do fluids, right? Because that's. So say we got RG, and where the hell is G? G is like all the way up here. Shift 5, Shift 7, 2. And it doesn't matter how big we build this, guys, because once it's done it's done forever. So we're going to probably do all this without trains and stuff, right? So you're going to probably have something like RGB coming off into a platform. This is probably where our 3x3 platforms are going to be coming in handy, right? So now, like, say you've got that. I'm just going to do this with one pipe, but you can imagine this is going to get duplicated a billion times. But on this platform, we're going to have RG and B, right? And then the color can either be RG and B, and then somehow we're going to have to select which one to use. So maybe our wires belt filter. Will this work on a color filter? Wait, how do I filter the color then? Interesting. Oh man, am I going to have to pre-paint everything? Oh, no way. All right, so this is how it's going to have to work, because there's no, unless I'm missing something. Is there a liquid pipe filter? There needs to be a liquid pipe filter, right? Oh no, I'm going to have to pre-color everything. God, that's silly. I really don't like this design. So basically, what's going to happen is get a painter. Trying to get this one example out by the end of this episode. So we're going to need like 3 painters, and we're going to need to input these 3 colors into the painters. So let's start with blue. Just a little preview of what we're going to do, guys. And then we're going to go red. And this is probably wrong. We're going to do this wrong like 17 iterations before we get it right. So don't you worry. It's going to be plenty of struggles to watch. I know you guys love watching me fail. So that's going to go in there. That's going to go in there. That's going to go this way. This shape is done. I don't think I need to do anything with that shape. So we'll just leave that for now. We'll do a final cleanup in just a second, guys. Trying to organize my thoughts before the end of the episode. That one is on its way, so we've got probably 5 minutes before it gets completed. So let me see if I can figure out and organize my thoughts before then. Maybe if I pipe this into the right pipe, that would be helpful. There we go. We got red. G is on the way. So we got RGB, we got our shapes, so let's just get that in, get that one in. So we got an RGB version of our shape, right? Then they're gonna go into a belt filter, and then we're gonna go, all right, so say we have a signal producer. Can I get the shape code of this? copy the shapecode. So remember we had in our MAM a signal that tells us what the current shape is. So let me just bring a signal producer. Let's assume the current shape that we need is this, right? Is this shape. Then it's going to need to select which version of this we need. So in theory, we should be able to pass a belt reader, belt control, a belt reader. Can I shift F that? Yep. So this belt reader is going to give a signal, right? And it's going to have to figure out somehow, based on that signal, a wire to go, is this equal to this? Or no, wait, that's not how a belt filter works. We're just going to take this signal and filter it onto the belt. That is also not how a belt filter works. So we're going to take our global signal. I'll try to do this properly. Oh my god, wire. I'm overcomplicating it already. So we're going to get, like, say this is our global signal of the current shape we want to make. Can I do that? How do I jump the wire? Nope, wire transmitter. Wire transmitter is fixed. Fixed distance. No. Are you joking me? Alright, well, I'll just wire it up. I just want one singular wire to go over here. And we're going to have to do these builds clean as well, guys. So we got the same signal and it's going to check. Oh man, how do I... That's annoying. That's just annoying. Give it some space. I swear the fact that these launchers and these signal hoppers and stuff is not variable distance is a bug. It's got to be a bug. There is no way that is intentional. I don't think it is anyway. If it's intentional, I don't know what the developers are thinking. Why do you want to complicate our lives like that? Like, why do you want to make this not the same distance? I don't get it. How do I input the signal? Hold on. How does a belt filter work? Oh, sorry. I got a belt reader. God, silly me. Belt filter. Yep, here we go. I'm getting there, guys. Belt filter. Oh, I'm panicking because I'm running against the clock over here. I want to end the episode when this gets done. And I'm not at all familiar with this. So you can see the belt filter works with the wire to compare the output of, to compare the signal coming from the wire to the belt filter, right? So if we chuck in some bins, bin. If we chuck in some trash here, right? You can see the red is not being trashed, but because the red signal matches whatever we're trying to read, it's not being trashed. So therefore it's going to output forwards. So if I output all of these belts forwards and then merge the output into one, right? You can see now that I have the RGB version of my shape, based on the signal I input, it's only going to output the thing that I want at the very end, right? You can, I don't know if you can already visualize how we're going to use this in our MAM to make anything, because it's all going to figure itself out. It's going to go, what's my signal? What color of what shape do I need? Obviously, we're not going to do full shapes. We're going to do quarter of a shape at a time. It's going to take each part of the quarter and then make it and then output it. And then it's going to use stackers to stack those quarters back into a full shape. Oh, super exciting. I can't wait, guys. And this is almost done. This is almost done. I don't like the fact that you have to pre-paint all of your shapes before you do it. That seems silly. I'm just trying to think, how am I going to get all the volume that I need, right? Because obviously once we have a functional MAM, we want this MAM to work at maximum throughput as well. So I probably want to design everything with maximum throughput in mind, right? Or something like that. I have absolutely no idea. These wires are going to have to somehow cross themselves. This whole thing's going to need to like triple layer itself. It's going to be the most design challenge. We're going to have to draw upon every single skill we have learned so far to create this MAM beautifully and efficiently. I don't want to just make a functional MAM, guys. I want to make one that's functional but also looks like it makes perfect sense, is easy to troubleshoot, and yeah, it's gonna be fun, guys. It's gonna be a lot of fun. I hope you guys watch my next series where we go and do that. But yeah, we're coming to the end, guys. I think this shape is definitely, let me just unpin some of this stuff. Let me delete some extra stuff. Maybe delete the MAM part. I don't think I want that. Oh, maybe that's good reference. I don't know. I'll leave it for now. It's not hurting anybody. What is this thing doing though? What? Oh yeah, this thing was, I was showing you the pinning thing. Let's clean that up. Everything else is clean. I believe, did we gut that factory that we didn't need anymore? Is this thing, This thing is the one we delivered. We're done with that shape. Yep. Let's gut this factory. I think we unpinned the task, but we never gutted the factory. We don't need this belt to go out this far anymore. In fact, we can clean up this belt. We don't need it. This is our milestone factory. This is the end of our milestone factory. This is at that milestone factory. This is that milestone factory. We don't need any more train rail to go any further than that. This train rail does not need to go any further than that. I believe this is pretty far away, but I believe we've probably already got enough stuff going there, guys. Look at that. Our very last thing only needs 600 more shapes. You guys have stuck around since episode 1 all the way to episode whatever this is, 21. Commitment, guys. Good commitment to the show. Thank you so much for your viewership. I just wanted a big shout out to all those people that have stayed around this long and is watching the end of this series. Just wanted to say a big thank you. I couldn't have built this factory without you guys, all your inputs. Let's go through all the milestones again. You know, we've got people like Rusty Nails from very first episode when I had like 3 viewers on my videos writing the very first comment that probably helped the YouTube algorithm, you know, share my videos to the rest of you guys. People like, I think, Martian Dill and Scott as well. You know, you guys have been just commenting on my videos, and that definitely helped my channel and helped these videos get the views that it's getting now. You know, we've got people that have been helping me with all my milestones. These guys, I believe they helped me with figuring out this checkerboard pattern. Obviously, you know, we've got bloody people telling me about map markers. Oh man, the map markers. I hate map markers. You know, we've got WAF commenting on pretty much every single one of my videos, telling me I'm an idiot. You know, that definitely helped motivate me to build better and more efficient factories. So thank you for that. Yeah, you guys have definitely contributed to this series. If I've forgotten anyone, and you know, don't feel mad. I mean, I'm still new to YouTube. I created this channel 3 weeks ago, so I'm still working out all my workflows. This is my first test series. It's gone way better than I expected. So, you know, I was expecting to get, you know, 1,000 subs after a year or something, but I'm already at like 400 subs thanks to all of you guys. It's been crazy. It's been a crazy 3 weeks. I've made way more videos than I intended. I was going to release 1 video a day, but you guys seem to be consuming the content faster than I can produce it. But without prattling on anymore, we have completed our last shape. Research unlocked. Why does it keep saying research has been unlocked as if we've unlocked some research? Claim our last operator point, and we'll end this playthrough at operator level 117. If we hit escape, oh god, what is happening? 99% research. Can someone explain to me? All right, well, that just tilts me. That is a very unsatisfying conclusion to this series. 99%. What the hell is going on? Show locked. Show completed. Is that a bug? Completed. Everything is unlocked. Every single research is unlocked. What do you mean 99% research completed? What is there some secret thing going on? Do I have to like make this shape or something? I don't know. Level 1 of infinity. Level 2 of infinity. Is that what it's asking? I don't know. We're at 99%, guys. Oh, this is triggering my OCD, but we'll have to call it because, you know, it's been an hour. You guys don't want to keep watching, but I think this is a satisfying conclusion to our shapes series. I believe I do need to deconstruct this very last factory, and we will do that without breaking our existing factory. But yeah, we're done. We are done with normal mode. Normal mode complete. Stay tuned for what I'm going to go do next. I haven't 100% decided what order I'm going to do things in, but do look forward to a hard mode, extreme mode playthrough with challenge mode added on. You know, I love to do challenge modes and stuff like that. Do look forward to my MAM series, or maybe I'll do a build compacting series or something like that, but there'll be plenty more content to come, guys. Stay tuned. If you've enjoyed the series and enjoyed watching me play shapes and struggle and learn, then please hit that like, hit that subscribe button. Otherwise, I will see you in the next series, guys. Enjoy. Have a good one.